Saturday, October 21st, the Dome Foamers podcast is back. I am your host, Christian Kruger, and I'm here with Neil Mieski. And we are just lifelong Astros fans that love to talk about the Astros, and we have a lot to talk about. So, boys, let's go. All right, special episode for a number of reasons. Usually we tag this 20, it'll be 25.5, 25 and a half. But we've got some things we got to talk about, and obviously, of course, the ALCS and everything that's coming down. As I stated in the opening, this is Saturday night that we're recording this. Some stuff has came down today. We've got obviously some scheduling conflicts with Dorton, Brian, which completely understand. We're gonna do another one Monday night after hopefully the Stros advance our regular scheduled podcast. But before we go any further and get into some baseball, we've got some exciting news for our listeners, people that like, share the podcast, people that subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's a reason why we've been talking about this, but the good people at Two Gringos Chupacabra have re-upped as our title sponsor. So, yeah, awesome to them. But even better than that, this little podcast that could is gaining traction, and a huge thank you to them because they have now decided, due to the success of our social media and our listeners out there, that they are going to give away a variety pack every week for the foreseeable future. And I'm going to get clarification from them this week. So I don't want to say exactly the length of time, but it's for a good while. And it's 5 sample sizes of season all rubs. And I'm looking at it right here. I'm about to show you on the screen. If you listen to this on the YouTube, watch it on the YouTube channel. Steak seasoning, the season all, the Chop House Blend, the Brisket Magic, and the Cluck-alicious. I have tried all 5 of these.
Yes, sir.
So here we go. Let's see if I can get that in the screen. So
good.
It's Chupalicious. I love that. But Two Gringos Chupacabra is going to send one of these out every week to one of our listeners based on a contest or a giveaway that the 3 of us Dome Foamers podcast originators decide. We'll have something different every week. Pretty cool. On top of that, you can go to their website at 2gringoschupacabra.com. That's the number 2, gringoschupacabra.com. And you can put in a code DOME15, DOME, for Dome Foamers, 15, Dome15 for 15% off. They are doing that special for our listeners and our viewers. Pretty cool.
Awesome.
They've made a commitment.
Awesome.
They've made a commitment to us. We are committed to them as our title sponsor. I'm going to make sure all my friends and family get on there. Pretty cool. Obviously, for the holidays coming up, you've got Thanksgiving, you've got stocking stuffers for Christmas. Go on there and help the good people at Two Gringos Chupacabra. One, as y'all, if you've listened, we all use their products. We love their products. Chop House Blend, as I said on the last podcast, was my favorite. It's in here. It is right there. And I've tried all the other 4. They're all great.
They are good.
That's pretty cool.
I used to tonight on our.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. I hit 2 tonight, the house and the rub. And I put them both. I've made 2 pork tenderloins and used them on both. Amazing.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So again, we'll talk about it every week. We will we'll decide who gets the first party pack. But that's pretty cool. They're going to mail it directly to you. We'll do some stuff on Twitter, some stuff on TikTok, some stuff on Facebook, some stuff on our YouTube that will come out in the next couple of days. But that's awesome. That's awesome news for us. Went from a small little idea, three dudes that were lifelong Astros fans that want to talk about the Astros, to now we have a sponsor that's wanting to continue a relationship with us. And thanks to them, they're great people over there. They have a meat market in Bandera that I am going to make sure I get steaks from in the next couple of weeks. And then they obviously have their office in Marion, right outside of New Braunfels, where they ship a lot of their product out. So again, that's awesome stuff. Now that we've taken care of our title sponsor, here we go. The last podcast we did, we were down 0-2 in the ALCS. I stated personally that it wasn't looking good. And I said to the Rangers through this podcast, y'all got us right now. We got one foot in the grave. But you better knock us out. You better knock us out. And to all those wonderful Rangers fans out there that have contacted me via text, Twitter, social media, I told y'all all the same thing. You're up 2. You better knock us out. Well, the Astros do what the Astros do. And game 3, we win 8-5. Game 2, we dominate 10-3. And by now, most of y'all have recapped this and you understand what's went on. And then it's tied 2-2, and there's game 5. And it's my understanding that in a championship series, a 7-game series, the winner of game 5 goes on to win the series 78.9% of the time.
Yeah.
So round that bad
right
boy,
at 80, I saw
round that bad boy up to 79% of the time. Made game 5 extremely important for a number of reasons, but that's the biggest. And the Astros win 5-4. And that just is the beginning of the story.
Oh boy.
First, before we get into everything that came down today, what are your thoughts on wherever you want to go from going 0-2 Neil to now up 3-2? Game 6 is tomorrow night. I'm going to throw the floor to you, and let's bounce some stuff off of each other to see where this bad boy stands.
Yeah, this is an open script for sure. And I missed the last podcast, and that was some doom and gloom for sure. It was a situation to where, I mean, we just didn't play great baseball, but at the same time, it's not like the Rangers are terrible. I mean, they're here for a reason. Their first, their top 2 pitchers are legitimate. Montgomery and Eovaldi took care of business in Houston, but then we went on the road and like I think you and I were discussing today, we have that away field advantage, not the home field advantage, but the away field advantage for whatever stupid reason. And man, like you said, the Astros do what the Astros do. When their backs are against the wall, and they for however they do it, man, they know that this means something. And these last 3 games, holy smokes, what amazing effort, what amazing grit to do what they do and pull out the 3 victories. I mean, in some aspects it's a little bit scary in the similarities of the World Series against the Nationals, but
2019.
Hopefully hopefully we can win one of the next 2 and avoid that craziness of all the road teams road teams winning the games. But man, it's just one of those things to where the bat showed up. We hit their lower end pitching, and then the game yesterday, that probably deserves its own podcast in a lot of ways. But
Well, we're gonna get into it.
man, yeah, and I'm trying to avoid talking about the details of that.
Right.
But I mean, just what a badass effort, energy to bring, and I'm just hoping all my Ranger friends didn't lose my cell phone number. I just hadn't heard from them in a couple of days. I'm not sure what that's all about, but um, you know, going to Houston, got to win one or two, and when I like to say you got to win the next one. You quit looking at it as one of two. Just you got to win the next one of one, and hopefully we get good Fromber and we move on to the World Series.
Yeah. So, I mean, on last week, I stated you can't look at it as a 7-game series. You got to look at it now as game 3 must win, game 4 must win, game 5. I mean, I wanted 2 out of 3. You
Correct.
had to have it, obviously, to get back to Houston. We did better than that. We got 3 out of 3. But I mean, it's how you have to take it when you gave them a 2-0 lead. And I don't want to say gave them.
Yep.
We made mistakes. But they also played really well.
Sure.
Now the script is completely flipped. And now, yeah, you're right. It's all about game 6, but we'll get into that in a minute. Game 5, a couple things before we dive deeper and deeper into game 5. I stated on the podcast last week, Corey Seager, his defense is a problem. Everyone knows how he can mash, and he can mash. I guess they've still counted that as a hit by Abreu, even though it was hit directly at Corey Seager. And yes, it was hit hard. He's on freaking AstroTurf, field turf. The ball glanced off of his arm. I'm sorry. A high elite pro shortstop needs to make that play. So I just wanted, I stated that before the series started that he would make some defensive errors in favor of the Astros, and he did. It allowed 1 run, and the end of the game ended with a 1-run victory. Now, here we go. Adolis.
Let's do
yeah,
it.
I don't even know where to begin. So,
yeah, which one do you want to start with?
Well, I did say I'm just trying to recap all the stuff that we talked about. So I did send a text message out saying you got to get Verlander out. You got to get him out. It's
yeah,
and only you and Dorton have those text messages, but y'all can verify. I said it's time. It just take him out. He got into trouble in the 6th. He doesn't have the stamina to go like he normally did. I do get the gamble because Dusty's trying to buy outs. I understand that, but at some point, I mean, he gave up 4 hits, I believe, out of 5. I think he gave up 4 hits in a row. Obviously, the big blast being the pitch inside to Adolis Garcia, and he hits it about 3 rows deep in left field. Decides to stare and then walk, which that's kind. I mean, I'm gonna try to not be I'm gonna try to be the modern game guy here, even though I'm a traditionalist. He ain't the only one that does that. There's a lot of them that do it.
Right.
I don't like it, but I'm not on the pro field. So you know what? It is what it is. Where I just became issue is when he spikes the bat into the ground. Do I like him walking? Do I like him yelling? No, I don't. But again, he's not the only one that does it. It's the modern ball player. When he takes the bat and spikes it into the ground, I got problems. Then he takes his sweet time. Again, biggest home run he's ever hit in his career. Rounds third base, faces the crowd in the dugout, and then stomps on home plate. Why is that necessary? Did he not learn from Simeon doing that in July at Minute Maid Park?
Yep.
Yeah. Whatever. Quick thought.
Totally
your quick thoughts on that as we keep going. We're going to keep unpacking this.
Okay. I'm with you. So I'm going to say I'm with you on the traditionalist side and the fact of you hit a huge home run the timing, ALCS, seventh inning, Verlander. I mean, if I'm a Rangers fan, I mean, this is crap that you're going to remember. This is an organizational big time home run, changing the series type stuff. So I understand the excitement. I understand the energy and the whatever that comes along with it. To the point that I remember that Alex Bregman was probably the first one who did the carry the bat down the line thing. And I think it was 2019 against the Nationals, if I'm not mistaken. And even at that time, when Bregman did that, I was like, I'm not really digging that. Like, I understand you get caught up. These guys, I can't imagine for a second anybody plans it. I can't imagine. I mean, it's a game of emotion, and that's what we love. But it's
Alex
always been that
Bregman.
way. You
Alex
guys have
Bregman
not.
did not. Well, hold on real quick.
He didn't spike
I
the
know
bat.
exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about. He carried the bat almost to first base. He did not
Absolutely,
spike
yeah,
the
that's
bat
exactly
into the ground after. He did not.
correct. Correct. Totally separate deals, but they have their similarities, right? And I'm not saying, and I'm with you. Like I can get through the stare, watch it, all those things. I could probably even get past the slamming it into the ground. But you pump. I mean, you have pimped this thing out, right? Now get your ass around the base, go celebrate with your team, and I feel like it's going to be okay. It really is going to be okay. And even the stomp on the plate, I think what that did was that said y'all didn't like it when Simeon did it back at your place, and I'm reminding you that we're the big boys. Like I want you guys to remember what we did at your home for one game out of that series, and y'all didn't like when we stomped on the plate here. Suck on this. That's what the stomp on the plate was. Which again, there's some there's the taunting, there's the back and forth, which I want. I want this to be. I mean, you and I talked about this. This is great for the state of Texas. This is great for baseball. I want there to be trash talk. I want there to be the back and forth. I want there to be the, we're better than you. And this is the ALCS. This is big time baseball. So it's not that I hate it. I almost like saying, okay, that's the style you want. Let's play ball, man. And so obviously we're getting towards the Abreu stuff to where I don't know, and we probably will never know whether it was intentional or not.
Well,
Let's
hold
go
on.
down the path.
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Hold on. Let's. But we need to tackle this
Okay, yeah.
Garcia
Talk
home
about
run
the.
all the way through first,
All right, go
and
ahead.
then we'll get to Abreu. So, I like the trash talk. I like the rivalry, all that too. I didn't talk trash until I met you, so I understand why you like it.
I'm just saying I'm okay with it. I'm okay. I don't hate it. I don't believe that either. But go ahead.
I don't hate it either. Well, there's a difference between trash talk and doing what he did. I'm sorry, man. Now, again, part of this is I've never liked the guy because he's always done this. But I mean, I'm trying to side with the modern player because I mean, look, I did the caveat. He ain't the only one that does it. But I mean, spiking the bat in the
Correct.
ground, and then you got to
know,
top
but
it.
like again, I'm just saying if you go that route, if you go the route of I'm going to be the big boy, I want to showboat, I want to be the king dingaling here, you still have to come around and have another at bat. The series ain't
Well,
over. So
after I saw it in real time,
yeah,
I said that he needs to wear one in the ribs. You have the text messages, so
absolutely.
does Brian. I said after I saw that and knowing it's 4-2, he needs to wear one in the absolute rib. You have to send a message.
Correct.
That
And that's
was
what I'm
that was
saying.
that was before. I mean, that was right after it.
I mean, we've been asking for Simeon to get one.
Yes,
I mean, we
yes.
wanted him to get one from day one. And that's what I'm saying. If you do that, if you're the guy that does those things and I fine. Like you're saying, the new age and all this kind of stuff on the big stage. You want to do that. That's the way that baseball kind of is turning. Look at me. Again, don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand we're becoming these old fogies,
Yeah.
and that's fine. Like, okay, it's okay. It's okay. Do that kind of stuff if that's who you are. But your ass better be ready for one in the ribs the next time, and understand that.
Okay. Fair. All right. We I mean, we mostly agree. Yeah. I mean, okay. So that happened in the sixth. Okay, it's 4-2 Rangers at this time. Huge stadium's going
Yep.
crazy. We had a buddy, Jared Vickers. He was there from Victoria, and he said it was going nuts, which I'm sure it was.
Oh, I can't imagine.
So fast forward to the eighth. Neris, we've got a runner on. See now. Well, it was the top of the eighth. He walked the first hitter, Brian Abreu. There's no outs. There's a runner on
Abreu started
first.
the eighth.
Yes. So it's 4-2 Rangers. We bring Abreu in to try to keep it to give us a shot in the ninth because it's the bottom of the eighth. First guy, I believe, walks, which would have been Evan Carter, one of their fastest players too, by the way.
You
Adolis
love walks.
Garcia.
You love leadoff walks.
I can't stand them. They're the worst things. I hate them. I hate them so much. So then you have Garcia coming back up for his next plate appearance since the home run. Okay.
Yep.
So you're down 2 runs. It's the bottom of the eighth inning. You have one more at bat unless you tie it and go to extra innings. No outs, runner on first. You're telling me that it was either ordered from the dugout or I think there's proof based on reactions of Dusty and others that it wasn't ordered from the dugout. Or you're telling me Brian Abreu got so cockstrong and pissed off that he let his emotions get the best of him and he took the game into his own hands and wanted to drill him in that situation that honestly would have been one of the dumbest things to possibly do. Because you're likely getting ejected. And that
Right.
means you're bringing in Presley right after you in the eighth inning with 0 outs, down 2 with 2 runners on.
Correct. So you would have had first and second, nobody out, and Presley coming in.
I think you obviously, anyone with a brain has to assume that it wasn't ordered from the dugout.
I wouldn't say that it is, and again, you and I've talked about this. I wouldn't say that it is stone cold, locked, obvious.
It would be one of the dumbest
no
baseball moves
chance in
ever.
hell that
It would be one of the dumbest baseball moves ever.
I would just say that is there a chance that it was planned in the previous inning or two, like home skillet comes back up, and we're putting one in his ribs. I'm not saying that that's off the table. I'm not saying that.
Well, then
I am
you're
saying that I don't. I'm just saying. I'm just saying I don't think it was intentional. I'm just saying, is it crazy to say that this wasn't something that was, in the heat of the moment, something that was discussed? Now, something discussed in the dugout versus something discussed in the bullpen, those are two different worlds. I mean, those things are separate at this time. So to say that Dusty tells whoever to call the bullpen and say, when this, jackwagon comes up, I want one in the ribs. I don't buy that at all. I'm with you. Like, I don't think that this was planned. Now, to say that it was totally off the table, like insane to even say that these two things are connected, I'm leaving the door cracked on that.
well.
And I think
I
you
don't
and I
agree.
are not on the same page. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was going to say,
no.
you and I don't think are on the same page, and that's okay.
Yeah, it is absolutely, absolutely. Here's and let me say why I disagree with that because um, it's not spring training, it's not April. This is when this crap is handled in the ALCS down 2 in the 8th inning, and you already have a
That's not
runner
the
on, no
time.
outs. It's just not. No, you have to go try to win a ball game. But that's
Correct.
fine. You have fair points, and that's my point. I just don't see it. However, let's just say you're telling me that all 6 umpires can get together and definitively say that he 100% was thrown at.
Ignorant.
How can you
Ignorant.
how can you prove that? How?
Ignorant. Yep. No,
So
there's no discussion on that. There's no way that you can say without a doubt that that was intentional. You can assume, you can go, that probably was, but how do
so I
you
think
say without,
I think he hit him in the ribs about 98. That does not feel good. Um,
damn,
he
sorry.
he imme- he immediately turns to Maldi, which I thought was interesting. Like,
I agree. It's almost
and
like you would have thought Maldi had told him, "Hey, bud, one's coming."
yeah, um,
And Maldi's not. Let's not pretend that Maldi wouldn't have said something to him as he walked up
oh
and
no,
told. That's what.
no, yeah. Maldi is a classic trash talker.
Love it.
So, and which we need to we need to get into something he said earlier in the year, but not the guy that threw the 98 in your ribs. He went and confronted the catcher,
Right.
and so Garcia starts the bench clearing after he's hitting the ribs.
Say
Bench
that
is
again.
clear. Well, I mean, Garcia gets hit in the ribs. He turns to Maldi. They get in each other's face.
But you,
Bench
you
is
said
cleared, and
Garcia starts it.
Yes.
That's what okay. I'm saying. Garcia starts this thing.
If
Go ahead.
he gets hit in the ribs and does his little pimp walk to first base, yelling and screaming and talking trash to Abreu, none of this probably happens. But he had to confront Maldi. Bench is cleared in a hurry, by the way. I mean,
And
there was people
you saw who
there
the
was people
first Astro
sprinting.
was. You saw the
Who?
first Astro. Do you know who? You don't know who this? What you really don't know?
Man, I haven't slowed it
Okay.
down. Who was it?
Yeah. Lance McCullers.
Yeah, because he got fined. I think okay. Yeah, him
Yeah.
and one of the Rangers got fined.
Yeah. Matt Bush. So
Mm-hmm.
McCullers is the first one. Number two. Do you know who number two is?
No.
Singleton, the pulling guard. I mean,
Well, they're just. I
they're
mean,
coming.
Singleton's just gangster. I mean, he's straight gangster.
Well, I mean, he's along for the ride up until the ninth, right? I mean, he's there to provide muscle. Here's his chance to be relevant. Freaking love it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's great. I mean, I love you caught that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um.
So yes,
So
you're right. If
so
he if he
Garcia
if he
ices.
go ahead.
Well, Garcia basically with his little tantrum. I mean, there's some things he could have said his piece. He could have yelled. He could have basically walked down the baseline and got in a Brady met him, and they could have had words. And none of this happens. This is how stupid it is what he did, because he
Yep.
caught the bitch is cleared, and it was over 25 minutes. That delay was 25 minutes long. Then we still had to get 3 outs. He basically iced his own closer, which we'll get into in a minute. Nice job, O'Dallas. However you pronounce your name. Nice job. Way to use your head. Way to keep composure, you moron. Thank you, by the way. Thank you. So there's runners on first and second. This 25-minute delay. Dusty is going berserk. Has to basically be told to leave or else. Abreu gets ejected.
Probably my favorite Dusty moment in whatever 4 years. By the way, there's not many to choose. There's not many to choose from.
So Abreu gets tossed. Garcia gets tossed. Dusty gets tossed. It's now runners on first and second. You got to bring Presley in the 8th inning. No outs, by the way. Runners on first and second. And somehow we get out of it.
Yeah, so you get Tavares to ground out, Josh Jung to strike out, and then
great play by Abreu, by the way.
Yes, it was the dive and throw to second. That was unbelievable. Yes. And then gets Nathaniel Lowe called out looking. So
yes. So then it's 4-2 going to the top of the ninth. Okay. They bring in Leclerc was already in for 1 out on the previous inning. That's why he had to sit there in the dugout with this whole deal. He comes in. Jeremy Pena is scheduled to hit, our number 8 hitter. And whoever makes the call brings in Diaz.
So who do you think you and I have discussed this briefly. Who do you, in your gut, who makes that call? Who are you giving credit to? What's your best guess?
Espada.
Okay.
But because I think Dusty lets Pena hit.
Okay.
Based on history, and I'm just doing that based on what we've seen.
No, I don't disagree with you, because that's a pretty key deal.
Yes.
Right. I mean, for many reasons. Number one, like you said, the history shows that the history of Dusty would have said, Pena, go up there and do your thing. There's not, no bones about it. Diaz has not had great playoff experience up to this point. Hadn't had a hit.
Correct. Well, you just assume Diaz is going to hit for the next batter, who's Maldonado.
Correct. And so go ahead.
Well, so he lines a hard hit single in between third and short, and gets on base. Huge. And so I'm like, okay, and I'm just speaking of myself in real time because you were coaching at the time, and so I'm like, okay, well, Maldonado's not going to hit. I mean, I was pretty confident he wasn't going to hit, especially with a runner on. And I'm like, okay, so that means Myers is not on the roster. Gray Kessinger,
no chance.
I didn't even get to Singleton, and then all of a sudden I see Singleton being called in. I'm like, okay, they're taking a gamble here. He runs into one and hits a 2-run homer. I mean, seriously.
Sure.
That's the game. That's the gamble. He hasn't hit in forever.
I mean, it's
I was
been a minute.
I was fully preparing.
Seriously,
I was fully preparing for a strikeout and a pop up. Just don't hit into a double play.
right.
And he works a walk. I don't even think he ever swung the bat. That goes
No,
back
so
to icing. That goes back to icing your closer.
yeah. So I actually, I mean, I knew this was where we were going, so I pulled this at bat up. The first three pitches were nowhere's on the planet.
Yep.
The fourth and fifth pitch were low and away, called strike, called strike. So it's 3-2, and then the sixth pitch of the at bat is down, middle of the plate, but just down. So I want to at least acknowledge Singleton for the at bat that he had in the situation that he was asked to, to come through. And that was a freaking unbelievable huge at bat. And people are going to, they won't remember
Oh,
the walk
no, they never
that
will.
that Singleton had. No. And unbelievable. I mean, that was kind of like Hensley last year getting on base before Jordan hits the walk
Yep.
off. I mean,
Yep.
there's just things that happen. I mean, we all remember the main moment, but the things that led up to the main moment, unbelievable.
All right. So then it sets the table. Runners on first and second. No outs. I'm gonna stop right there. Hindsight's 2020. We can do this because we're not Rangers fans. But you're up 2. You probably have the one of one of the greatest postseason hitters of all time already. Do you walk him and load the
Second in
bases there?
all-time playoff.
Yes.
Second in all-time home runs.
Do you walk him there?
Man, you're throwing this on me.
I
We
know
didn't discuss this one,
we didn't discuss this.
which
Well,
is great.
I was thinking
Yeah,
this. I was thinking this at the time, and then Jared Vickers, who was at the game, called me on his way leaving the stadium and said he thought that as a Rangers fan, he thought that they should walk Altuve there, and he said, "Look, it's not hindsight. I just thought you have Dubon coming up. It's unlikely Dubon hits a grand slam. Could it happen? Of course, it could happen, but."
sure.
At this point, you need to take your poison with Dubon over Altuve. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't.
So I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you this. Do you want to face Altuve, or do you want to face Dubon? That's a
Dubon,
no-brainer.
no
Okay,
brainer.
it's especially with, and this is gonna like fold into lineup construction, especially with Jordan batting fourth, not third, because
Thank you.
go ahead.
Exactly.
Okay. So I knew you'd appreciate that.
Yep.
Because I would face.
Now. Let's be real. Let's be fair.
Okay,
Bregman's no slouch hitting third, especially in the playoffs.
correct.
But he's
And
not.
who
But he's not Jordan.
he's a guy who lives for the moment and all that kind of jazz, plenty of playoff experience. He's not walking up to the plate nervous, but he is batting 200 in the playoffs.
Still has some big hits, man.
And oh my gosh. So obviously hindsight, I'm probably being extremely careful with Altuve. But do I blame them? I mean, I don't know, man. If we're the Rangers
It's
fans,
real.
what do
It's real hard to walk the bases loaded, no outs. It's real hard.
correct? Correct. I
But
mean, I
but
can't
this
say
is
that I
why This is why I can't stand, and you know this again through our sidebar conversations on text message. I can't stand Dubon hitting second. I can't stand it. Now, he had a great game, game 4. Hat tip. Good job. Awesome. You know, I don't think he didn't. I mean, I'm okay with him being in the lineup. Why does he have to hit 2?
Yeah.
You have
Yeah, I mean,
aggressive Altuve after aggressive Dubon. I hate that. Whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, it's real hard to walk the bases loaded, no outs. Real hard.
So, which again, from the Rangers' perspective, you're saying I'm going to put the tying run on second base.
Yeah.
Which is totally against what you would ever want to do. So, no, I mean, when it's all said and done, no, you're not looking to walk Altuve, who up to that point was 0 for 4. I mean, he hadn't made a hit, hadn't gotten a hit that night. But it's Altuve, so
Yep.
I mean,
So
I think we've wrapped up that scenario.
Then the rest is history. We everyone knows what he does. He hits one just over the fence for a 3-run homer, and that leads me
And
to
then
his
does
20.
what?
Thank you. Rounds the bases like he's been there before because he has been, and he's a 2-time champion. Second all time in postseason home runs ever. Ever. He's 3 behind Manny Ramirez.
I was going to say Manny, right? Okay.
There's more stats. It's the 3rd go-ahead home run that he's hit in the playoffs in the 9th inning. We won all 3 of those games. Crazy. It's the 10th.
Yankees twice.
I have it right here.
I would say it's the Yankees twice. Obviously, it was the
Game 2, 2017 World Series.
Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dodgers. Yeah.
Game 6, 2019 ALCS.
Yankees. No.
And
game 2 night. What was that one?
2019 ALCS.
Game 2. That would have been Yankees also. Right?
No, game 6. Game 6. Game 6, 2019 ALCS.
Who was that?
That's Yankees.
Yeah. So, I thought you were saying it wasn't the Yankees. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
There's something. It was his 10th postseason go-ahead home run, I think, of the 26. It's unreal. The guy's a legend. The guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is going to go down with one of the greatest postseason resumes of all time.
So there's a guy on our coaching staff who I won't name. He doesn't deserve to be named because he's a pretender. But even like we had the discussion, like, I don't care how much you hate the Astros. You have got to, I wouldn't say love, but you have got to admire who he is and what he's about.
You'll never get that from people that, but I'm with you, but you'll never get that from Astros haters.
But I get the Astro hater side, but there's people. There's got to be baseball lovers. A true, honest baseball lover has got to admit that he plays the game the right way. He does it the right way. There's article after article and report after report about the class act that he is, the body language, the interaction. It's going to be hard pressed to find a better human being than Jose Altuve. And so it's hard, in my opinion, to hate somebody like that. And I wish I could find a flip example of somebody on another team that you go, That guy's good. I mean, the first guy that comes to mind for me is a guy like Greg Maddux that you just go, that guy's a damn good baseball player.
That's a great question. Guess who's the first guy that comes to me?
Who?
Cal Ripken Jr.
Yeah, but he wasn't involved in a scandal, a team that was
No,
winning world. You know what I'm saying? Like
no,
the,
but I mean,
you know, like
he was widely respected.
I love Cal Ripken. I
Straight
love him.
class.
I'm just saying, like, name me a Yankee that you could go, like Paul O'Neill. Like that's a guy that I kind of go, I hate the fact that he was a Yankee, but I like that guy. Like he was a
I
player.
I have my favorite Yankee of all time. I mean, there's only one Yankee I even consider respect. I shouldn't say that. Paul O'Neill's, I never liked him. I respected Bernie Williams. I respected Mariano Rivera.
Yep.
If you
Yeah.
had to tell me, the Yankee that I'm like, I mean, it's Jeter. I mean, I just love the way Jeter played the game and how he was the captain. I hated the Yankees. I hated
Fair.
playing for the Yankees.
Yeah.
I hated playing for the Yankees.
Sure.
But so we're
That's
gonna have to
fair.
wait
That's
to
good.
see
No, that's
how.
good. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait to see how the season ends to rank that home run, but we're gonna rank it. But we need to see the
Man,
results.
that's
We got
well.
to see.
I think
We got to
I
see
don't
where
even
we
think
end
you
up.
have to wait.
Yeah, you
He
do,
he
and here's
he,
why.
he did something
Here's,
that
but here's why. I'm just saying we could lose the next
okay.
two games, and it's just not going to have the same. It's not going to have the same
Sure.
effect. So that's why I think you have to wait to
I,
see what you do.
you, I understand. I agree in the fact that the distance that this team goes could maximize the value of that home run. That's no doubt. But I'm saying that at that moment in time, holy smokes.
I just
I
never want to
mean,
hear. I never want to hear Billy Hatcher's home run ever again. It's knocked Billy Hatcher's home run out
or
of the
Chris
freaking.
Burke.
Yes, those are done. Like those are done because him and Jordan and and Marwin have the top five, and however you want to rank them, you can rank them.
Go,
Those are done though. Those are no
golden
longer. Those are done.
golden era.
Yes. So,
Yeah,
um,
that's a good piece right there. That's good.
yeah, and we will rank it. It was massive. I mean, the guy just does. I mean, he's first ballot Hall of Famer. He's proven it. He's proven it since 2017. It's unbelievable. He is. I don't know if there's a clutch gene, but if there is, he's got it.
Give me the sports writer's name that doesn't vote him in, and I will go punch him in the face.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, he won't get in. He won't be unanimous. I guarantee you. He won't.
Again, give me the sports writer's name who doesn't vote him in the first ballot.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask this right now. I want. I
Okay.
want to hear instant reaction. We did not bring this up beforehand.
Okay.
Is he the greatest Astro of all time?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. I mean, has
Not
yeah.
even close.
I
It's not,
yeah. It's
not even close.
he's so elevated himself. So like it's a it's
And
a,
I'll say this, and it's because of the teams it, that he has been a part of that has enabled him. Now, if you switched BGO's timing and Altuve's timing, is BGO the same? Are we saying I don't I don't know that. I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? Uh, he has just responded
how
and
about the defensive play behind second base in the center field?
he's just an unbelievable clutch player that uh,
Now look, I'm guilty. He gets so much flack about his base running, and it's abysmal at
it's so
times.
frustrating. Yeah.
But I mean,
Yes.
he makes up for it in spades when he does stuff like this. Okay,
Yep.
I'm sure we're going to rehash this in a couple of days, but let's move on to the next 2 days, right? So Astros win 5-4.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jose Altuve. Hats off to Ryan Presley getting 6 outs. He scares me sometimes, but he did his job. He,
Stressley.
Ryan Stressley. We've coined that. In the 9th inning, he let runners on first and second, and I was like, "Oh, we can't do this." A laser hit, and Gray Kessinger snags it out of the air.
I'm sorry. Who?
Yeah, Gray Kessinger, because when Singleton walked, they pulled him and put Gray Kessinger in. Yeah, exactly. He was on the field. He really was.
You were drinking during this time, right?
You were absolutely. I had to.
And 2 Gringos Chupacabra beer salt was probably being had there.
There you go. Exactly. I'm gonna buy some more, but I'm gonna put Dome 15 so I can get 15% off of their website.
Heck yeah.
All right, so
Great Kessinger, golly.
Woo. I know 3-2. Okay, it's going back to Houston. We're going tomorrow night. We are pitching Fromber. Real quick, because I want to wrap this thing up pretty fast, because the Phillies just won, took a 3-2 lead, by the way. Thoughts on the next 2 games? Fromber versus Evaldi, most likely Javier versus someone other than Scherzer. I just don't see how they can wheel Scherzer out, but maybe they do. But it'll be short lease.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that here in a second. There's no hiding the fact that Fromber has not been the Fromber that we've needed. Is it insane to say that Fromber comes out and gives us the Game 2, Game 6, 2022 World Series performance? I wouldn't be shocked.
I want to believe that. I just don't have any faith. I don't have any faith.
But it's just as equally likely, if not more likely, that it's just not in him right now. I mean, there's no signs that tell you that he's going to go out there and be some sort of, I wouldn't even say dominant, but give you a quality start.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit leery in the fact of Evaldi versus Fromber. I mean, there's no hiding the fact that the Rangers probably have the edge in the starting pitching aspect. Now, can the Astros bats balance a little bit of that out and help Fromber out? Sure. So that aspect is a little bit dicey, but I like our vibe right now. I like again, you go back to what Maldi said in the post-game interview about, his take on Garcia doing Garcia stuff. And he says, you woke up the Houston Astros. That was the mistake. And if that energy is still there, I mean, I can't imagine what the juice box is going to be like.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be rocking. Okay,
so if that,
because we got to get on. But we got to get into news today. So I'm with you, but what do you think? I guess because we have to spend 10, 15 minutes what happened today. So
okay, so let me wrap this up. So if we go to Game 7, we know that's a dice roll. I like our chances Javier versus whoever the Rangers play. So yeah, I mean, if you're asking me to pick this thing, I'm saying we end this thing to Saturday night in Game 6, which I originally picked, not necessarily
Sunday night
in the order, but Sunday night. Sorry, 6 games, but if it should go 7, again, Javier, I think he's built for this kind of stuff. So I think the Astros win. I still say 6, but feel good if it has to go 7.
Well, I wanted to be 6 because that's not only what you predicted and Dorton predicted. I predicted that as well. So I would love for that. And I would love to win 4 straight on their asses. I think we're going to score on Uvalde. I don't think we're going to score a ton, but I think we're going to get to him. We've seen him so much, and some guys. Abreu. Jordan's like 9 for 12 against him, so that's a problem.
Nice.
It's something crazy. I just can't bet on Fromber. I can't bet on him right now.
Yeah,
and
there's no reason to.
I think I want to be right. I want to be into tomorrow for all the reasons of being an Astros fan. I think it's going 7. I think it's going 7.
I hate you.
I know.
I don't need.
Hey, I hope I'm wrong. I don't either. I just can't bet on Fromber. He hadn't been good in a while. And if I'm the Rangers and I get a runner on or 2 runners on early in the game, bunt. Make him field his position. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Why would you not? He's an absolute disaster. So
yes, sir.
Want to be wrong. Hope I'm wrong. Let's end it tomorrow night. But they have the edge pitching wise. Now, bullpen wise, they obviously don't. So that's where it's a balance. Like Fromber doesn't need to be good, like really good. Fromber needs to allow 2 or 3 runs in 6 innings, and we're going to win. Because I think we're going to score 2 or 3, 4 off Evaldi. Their bullpen is atrocious. So that's the thing. That's what he has to do is manage damage, manage runners on base, manage damage control.
And keep your damn head together, for God's sake.
Don't throw the ball in the right field.
Please.
Okay. So today, I don't have any answers other than what's been coming out on media. I was at my middle one's baseball game. You had work duties. Dorton was blowing us up because he heard first. Supposedly, Major League Baseball, the absolute losers and POSs that they are, including Rob Manfred, who you're still pissed that the Astros won the World Series last year, has suspended Brian Abreu for intentionally throwing at Adolis, whiny crybaby Garcia. I don't even know how you can make that move. I don't know how you can make that move with Garcia, who incited the whole bench clearing deal, not being suspended, only being fined. There is supposedly an appeal process that can happen that if heard and awarded, that it could be moved to 2024. Supposedly it has to be heard but tomorrow on a Sunday before Game 6 is what I was reading before we got on this podcast. I could sit here for another 2 hours and let you know my real feelings about Major League Baseball and Rob Manfred. I know we're going to be on the same page. I thought when I was getting these text messages, it was a joke. I thought it was a joke. Clearly, they do not want the Astros to advance. Clearly, they do not want the Astros to win another World Series. And this is, I don't even know if is there precedence for this? I haven't been able to research and to see if this has ever happened like this.
So I have done no research per se to find the history of somebody being ejected in the playoffs.
Well, to make it clear, this only came down like 3 or 4 hours ago.
Right. And so I'm gonna throw this example out to you that I saw somewhere in the last couple hours. In the last series, the Braves versus the Phillies, Bryce Harper loses his absolute mind and attacks third base umpire for a check swing, goes ballistic, gets ejected, throws helmet all over the place into the stands, and nothing is done to him.
Yeah, but we know why that. I mean,
why?
Because he's Bryce Harper and he's on the Astros.
I think that's my point.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I'm saying. Is that if I don't know, Alex Bregman does that, attacks, goes crazy, they're going to suspend him.
Suspended, 100%.
Suspend.
No, but we know that. I mean, we know that. I just can't believe that now the Major League Baseball office, I mean, I can, is saying that they have definite evidence that he threw at him. And we're going to suspend him. Not one game, but two. How many games are left in this series, Neil? And I know you're a math teacher, so it's probably
yeah. So we just finished game 5. It's a best of 7, 5. Yes, 6-7. Yeah, that's crazy.
And do the Astros have the lead or do the Rangers?
I'm going to think we were 2-2. Altuve hit the home. Yeah, we're up 3-2. Yeah,
so if the Rangers win tomorrow, there's a game 7.
Correct.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? And if the Astros win, it's over. I mean, this is such complete, utter. I don't want Dorton to have to edit
garbage.
the word. Garbage times garbage on top of garbage.
Yes.
This is Rob Manfred. All the flack he took from giving them immunity in 2017, and this is how he's trying to pay people back. And he was not happy that they won the World Series last year. So now he's got to stick his little rat nose in here to see if he can change it so we don't go back to back. It's pathetic. I would have been okay. I'm not okay, but I would at least have been like, okay, Abreu gets a game, Garcia gets a game. How can you not suspend the guy that incited the bench clearing brawl?
Yep. That's exactly right. It doesn't make any sense. It's garbage. It's just, I mean, I'm trying. I know we need to talk about it. I'm trying not to have to cuss and make Brian work and make two gringos chupacabra upset with us. So it's total garbage. It's total crap.
Well, and we don't have all the details. That's the latest I read. Is that supposedly it can be heard tomorrow? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I want to win tomorrow, just in spite of this.
So the only thing that the Astros that I'm aware of have released, okay, is that where was it? I know that McCullers is no longer allowed in the dugout. McCullers and Bush being the Rangers guy, are no longer allowed in the dugout for the rest of the ALCS. And the official word is that he has 2 days to appeal it, right? And today being a day which obviously is an option. And generally the appeal at least buys you a couple days. The interesting thing will be when MLB gets back to us.
Exactly.
And I mean, so it says that according to the collective bargaining agreement, a hearing involved a suspension for conduct on playing field or in the ballpark during the postseason will be heard in 48 hours. So 48 hours, 2 days, doesn't mean anything really. I mean, appeal today, see what they say, and they can. I mean, not having Abreu is a huge deal for the Houston Astros, obviously.
Where, and I will do this after we go to this podcast. Where's the MLBPA right now? Where's the Players Association on this deal?
Yep.
They can't stand for this.
Who is stepping up in this aspect? There's no doubt.
We talked about this, this afternoon on the phone. I mean, I stayed up too late last night watching social media and after the game. And so now this is what I'm going to do tonight, trying to figure out what the heck's going on, if he can appeal and move this to 2024. I don't know yet. We don't have those answers. Hopefully we're going to get them. Hopefully he gets moved to 2024. Farmer should just hit Garcia in the ribs tomorrow. First time he comes up. All right, man. I mean, we could talk about that all night.
Yeah,
I
this
know
is good.
it's Saturday night. We've got Game 6 tomorrow. Go Stros. Let's end it tomorrow night. I don't want a Game 7, just like I know you don't. We'll see. It's going to be
No.
fun. We'll have a regular. Anything you want to add before we kind of wrap this bad boy up?
No, I'm good. I think we beat it up. Fromber, and then maybe Javier, and pinch it off, and we'll recap on Monday. See where we are. Hopefully, we're talking World Series.
Absolutely. So Victoria Equipment Auction is our other sponsor that we love so much. This was kind
Kenny
of a
G.
thrown to get Kenny G, Crime Dog, and you've got Clay there. They're having an auction on December 12th. Give them a call if you have any equipment that you need to send, and they will purchase and sell anything for you. Their number is 361-935-2444. It's victoriaequipmentauction.com. Great people. We thank them. We'll do a full throwback. Neil will be back, throwback player, next week or 2 days on Monday. What'd you think about my Dave Smith throwback player?
I loved it. I'd hit Dave Smith in my research. Obviously, knew he had unfortunately passed away.
Yeah.
Stud.
You
nailed it.
I had to pinch hit for you.
I loved it. I appreciate it. Sorry I missed.
No worries.
But you nailed the fact that true closers at that time were every team didn't have one.
No, they didn't.
It wasn't necessarily a position. You had the Eckersleys of the world, the Dave Smiths were. I mean, that was a time in the mid '80s that was a position that was being developed.
We talk about this stuff every time you do one of these. That's why I love the throwback player. Sometimes you brought him up, and I'm like, he wasn't as good as I thought he was. And then sometimes it's like, he was better than I thought he was. Dave Smith was better than I thought he was.
He was. He was a dude, man. And like I said, unfortunately passed away. Another California guy that was a part of the Stros, but definitely a huge part of the mid '80s.
Yep. All right, man. So remember, we're Dome 15 on twogringoschupercobra.com. We'll go more than that in 2 days. We appreciate them. We're going to do a giveaway of some kind. We'll announce something on Monday night when we do the podcast for the giveaway. Yep. Subscribe. Utah just beat USC on a last-second field goal.
Hate to hear that.
Hate to hear it. Oh, Caleb Williams, you've lost to USC 3 times now in 2 years. Nice work.
To Utah.
To Utah. Do I? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
to Utah.
Yeah.
Kind of threw me off for a second. Man, it's gonna be fun tomorrow night. Timber's gonna be flaring. It's gonna be good. It'll be fun to watch. And with that being said, we'll throw this out sometime tomorrow. Oh, you have something you want to add?
I was gonna say, hopefully the roof will be closed and MLB doesn't do their bull crap.
Oh, I expect it. I expect it.
Yeah, just the normal, right? Go follow us. I mean, we've hit the Facebook and TikTok, and appreciate everybody who's following us now and trying to, like you said at the beginning, the little podcast that good has grown exponentially, and hopefully everybody appreciates what we're trying to do and continue to follow and like and listen and go support Two Gringos Chupacabra.
Absolutely. So with that being said, we're going to end this bad boy with screw you, Rangers. Go Stros.
Go Stros.